Hey y'all, how you guys doing today? Chad, we gotta talk about Tyler Perry slash Medea. Y'all, they trying to Diddy, Weinstein, and Bill Cosby Tyler, right? So as you all, I'm sure you all have heard right now that a man by the name of Derek Dixon has filed a lawsuit against Tyler Perry for $260 million, alleging that Tyler Perry SA'd and harassed him. He is saying that Tyler Perry held his job, over him. He said that he first met Tyler Perry when he was waiting tables, I guess, at some kind of catering event for a catering company. And Tyler gave him his number and told him that, hey, I might have a job for you, contact me, right? So he contacts Tyler Perry, and Derek Dixon goes on to say that for a couple of years, at least for I think it was 2019 and 2020 until excuse me 2024, that Tyler Perry continuously made actual advances towards him, allegedly. So he I guess he got fed up. He felt like he couldn't take it anymore, so he filed a civil lawsuit against Tyler Perry on June 13th of this year, right? So soon after, it was reported that he had filed this lawsuit against Tyler Perry. He then went on to release, text messages. He said he got receipts, child. He got receipts. He released many text messages between him and Tyler Perry. He also released the actual court document, and that court document is really is very inflammatory, to say the least. It was a lot of things said, in these court documents. They are online. I'm not going to break down all of them. Child, ain't nobody got all day. But basically, he felt in the text messages as well as in the court document. And just let me say, the way that this court document is worded is really graphic, and it's really sleazy. And it's kind of yeah, this right here on the screen. And I was like, what in the world? Okay. Right. And so I couldn't believe couldn't believe that Tyler Perry put himself in this situation, with these type of text messages and whatnot. And I was just I'm like, oh my God, as I'm reading the text messages, right? So we know for years, people have been speculating that Tyler Perry is part of the community. There was a video, or there was a Boondocks episode that Tyler Perry had taken down, um, because he felt like it was, too much like him. And he had that, it was about him to the point that he had the video taken down, right? And that was years ago. We remember that. And I was like, oh, Lord, you know what I mean? And so I think that over the years, though, well, as soon as I seen Tyler Perry, I felt like he was part of the community, and it's 2025, and I don't understand, you know, if he is in fact part of the community, why doesn't he just come out? And if he comes out, he won't have to deal with a whole lot of these things, right? So I went and pulled up this little bit of info from the Associated Press, and it says, and I quote, according to a report in the Associated Press, the lawsuit Perry allegedly abused his power to actually exploit Dixon, right? And Dixon is saying that, Tyler Perry, after he got, Tyler Perry offered him. He was in two shows, Ruthless, and Oval, and he also said that he was a screenwriter. He said that he sent Tyler Perry his writings or whatever, and Tyler Perry told him he loved it. The name of it was Losing It. He said that they were going to have to, see if they can do a pilot. I don't know if it was a pilot ever done. And then it goes on to say that it claims that Perry created a coercive, actually exploitive dynamic, unquote, between them while Dixon was working on the filmmaker show, The Oval and Ruthless, right? So what he was basically saying was, he was basically holding the fact that Tyler had given him a job over his head, and that if he wanted to continue on the show, he's going to have to do what Tyler wanted him to do, right? And so he said eventually. Now, like I said, this went on for a few years. He eventually files a complaint with the equal employment opportunity division or whatever, and he did that. He said he started taking notes, and saving text messages that Tyler Perry had sent him. And these messages, Tyler seems like he's really aggressive with the conversation. He goes on to document in the court filing that a couple of incidents. Tyler would always want him to drink. He mentioned one incident was very, it sounded like a whole other incident with me, right? Do y'all remember couple of years ago, I think it was in 2023, when Christian, what is his last name? Christian Keys. He came out, made an Instagram post, a couple of Instagram posts, because he said he was being harassed by a male, someone that had power over him. He would never mention a name, and he started crying and slobbing all over the place and all of this and all of that, right? And eventually it just went away. Christian Keys never mentioned a name, but a lot of us that are familiar with the Tyler Perry movies, and shows, know that we have seen Christian Keys, as well as this. And but when Christian Keys came out, everybody assumed that Christian Keys was talking about Tyler Perry, right? Now I kind of feel like it was a shakedown, because after he did this, and in the midst of him doing this, he wanted to have total control over um one of the series that he had created. I think it was All the King Men's or something like that. He had created that. He wanted creative control over that. He didn't want, and Tyler Perry, like I guess trying to coerce him, because of this show and whatnot. And so he cried and moaned and complained. And then after a while, honey, it was just gone. You heard nothing else about it, right? And so, and like I said, he never mentioned the name, but everybody assumed, because we all knew who he worked for, that he was talking about Tyler Perry, right? So that went away. So in the complaint, Derek Dixon says that on one incident he went to Tyler Perry house. Now he went to Tyler Perry house a couple of times, and this where it gets kind of fishy with me, even with Christian Keys, right? So if this man is SAing you and harassing you, why do you keep going to his home? Now I understand you said that he held your job, you know, your job, your career in his hands, and all of this and all that. But if you got any type of integrity, why do you keep going for it, right? And also he mentions in the complaint that Tyler was really aggressive. At one point in time, Tyler allegedly started choking him, and he got out of that situation. He had one incident in the court documents that sounded a lot like Christian Keys, when he said he went to Tyler Perry's house and he got drunk, and he said that he went to lay down in one of the guest bedrooms. And he said a little bit later on, Tyler Perry came in there and laid down beside him and started rubbing on his hips or something like that, right? Now he never said, not one time, that him and Tyler Perry had a intimate relationship. He only said that Tyler Perry harassed him, and it made him feel uncomfortable. Basically, he felt like Tyler Perry kept pressuring him, getting more aggressive with the text messages and FaceTimes and whatnot. And he felt uncomfortable. At one point in time, he told Tyler Perry that he had been with a man before, but he was basically wasn't attracted to Tyler Perry and all of this and all that. Now, when they're having these text messages back and forth, and he said he felt obligated to respond to Tyler Perry, right? And he kept trying to put him off and put him off and all this and all that. He says in 2024, he was at Tyler Perry's house again, and he was in, I guess, the pool house or something like that. And he said that Tyler Perry allegedly came in there and pulled his pants down, child. This is in court documents. Pulled his pants down and said, it'll be all right, basically, and that it won't hurt. And he said, oh, Lord, allegedly, this is what Tyler Perry said, child. And that basically it'll be okay. He said he talked Tyler Perry, down from that situation. Like I said, he never mentioned that him and Tyler Perry actually had a intimate encounter. I felt like because this went on so long, I felt like that, and then in some of the text messages, some of the wording, in the text messages and in the court documents, it sounds to me like he was kind of stringing Tyler Perry along, right? So that he could keep his career or his perks or whatever was going on, right? Because he said that Tyler Perry, pretty much, threatened to kill him off of the show. He said that Tyler Perry, if you got on his bad side and you were on his show, you would end up in the employment line, meaning that he would kill you off of the show, and all of this and all that. And we know that Tyler Perry is known, for getting rid of, popular cast members on the show, right? That's nothing new, right? So he felt like he was in jeopardy for that. That's why he felt like he couldn't say anything. He don't want to ruffle his feathers or whatever. And so, but Tyler Perry kept going after him and going after him. Cat Williams told us that you got to tell him no. He said you got to tell him no. Cat Williams said that he had been propositioned for his for his buttocks, for his backside, for $50 million 3 times, and he kept telling him no. You got to tell him no. Now I don't know why that they couldn't be like Cat Williams and just tell him no. Okay, so if you feel like you got this acting going on, and I remember seeing this guy, this Derek Dixon, in a couple of episodes. I don't watch a lot of episodes. I really didn't like the show, but I seen a couple of episodes when he was on what is it, the Oval, where he played the homeless man. He was working in a shop, and he was given intimate favors, if you will, in order to keep his job, in order to keep his place to say. I didn't feel like he was a good actor. I don't know what kind of writer he was, but I didn't feel like he was a good actor. Um, and so all of that, so he wrote all of that in the court documents. He is now suing Tyler Perry. We all know for $260 million. Tyler Perry responded, and he said this is nothing more than a shakedown. It's a scam, and all of this and all that. Because what else is Tyler gonna say? But I feel like, and for the fact that I really do feel like he was stringing Tyler Perry along to see if he can get what he get, or hold on to what he had. I felt like he was stringing him along. I felt like after, this is just my opinion. I feel like after he, heard what went on with Christian Keys and saw them Instagram, lives and all of this and all of that, and he probably figured that, hey, Christian got what he wanted, and then he went away. So I think he filed the lawsuit, and of course they're going to try to litigate it. They try to, make some kind of deal behind the scenes. And I'm thinking Derek Dixon didn't want to take what it was that Tyler Perry was offering him, so he made it public. And I was like, he made it public. I was like, oh Lord, who is his lawyer? Tony Busby, allegedly. I'm just saying the way he made it public. And I was like, oh, child, Medea, get ready to get in trouble, right? But my thing is, it's been all of these, and now people have speculated, like I said, for years, that Tyler Perry is, part of the community, right? And if Tyler is part of the community, why don't you just come out, And then when it comes to Tyler, do I think he did these things? I think it's possible. Like, I honestly think it's possible. Like, I really do. I think that Tyler probably likes to chase. Now, from what I understand, a whole lot of gay men, like to go after men that are not necessarily, openly, gay or whatever. And so that's why I felt like that Dixon might have been stringing Tyler along. Right now, he said it was for his job or whatnot, but I think he was stringing him along. At one point in time, he said he got a raise in his pay, and he got to stay on the show. And again, he never said that he actually had an intimate physical relationship with Tyler. It was just the SA events where he allegedly, touched him a couple of times, right? And some people were saying that Tyler was grooming him and all of this and all that. The man said he had relations with a man before. So what really is it to groom? Okay. Now see, I realize this is an unpopular opinion, but I'm gonna have to be Team Tyler on this, right? I'm Team Tyler on this because I really feel like this man was stringing him along. And like I said, after he seen what happened with Christian Keys and Christian got what he wanted, I think after that he started documenting. Okay, he got his paperwork together, honey. He got his proof together. All right, and he said I have to get him a lawsuit because he knew that he's not a good actor anyway. He's probably never an actor in the first place. Tyler just seemed, he was a waiter. Tyler was attracted to him allegedly, and he gave, he gave him a show or whatever, right? Because Tyler wanted to get with him or whatever. And part of the court documents, I'm laughing because he said on one text message or FaceTime or something that Tyler had said that he had, a fantasy about him being in a cowboy, a cowboy costume or whatever, and all of this and all of that there. He said allegedly that Tyler told me like it rough, and child, it was just it was just a whole lot. But like I said, do I believe that this is a shakedown? Yes, I do somewhat, because I do feel like that he strung Tyler Perry along. Like, yes, I do. I think he strung him along to get enough evidence, to get enough salacious evidence against him to sue him, because he knew that not only was he going to be blackballed, he wasn't really a good actor anyway. Okay, all right, in my opinion, and I felt like that's why he want $260 million, honey. So he won't have to worry about working in any industry anymore. That's why he wants so much. What Tyler offered him was going to sustain him, and so he want to make it public. That's how I feel, right? But as far as Tyler, just living his own truth. I think that it's time, right? Remember, at one point that Tyler Perry has a son. He has a son. I think he's about 11 and 12, 10, 11, 12 or now, something like that. He had a son with one of his, girlfriend slash beards, allegedly. I guess she was an Ethiopian woman, and she had a son with Tyler. Tyler has never been married. He has been linked to a couple of women. The one that he had the baby by, for sure, Ethiopia. She was a model, and she did something else. But anyway, they were in a long term relationship. Yes, I do think she was a beard. Okay. Now I don't know if he got that baby the original way, or if it was some kind of other type of like a insemination process or something. But whatever, Tyler got him a son with this woman, right? And so you never really heard much drama about that. At least I didn't anyway. You know, because I think she knows what she was there for, clearly, right? And so, um, but as far as Tyler coming out, he just if he is part of the community. Now I thought Tyler came out. This was Tyler coming out when he created the Netflix series Beauty in Black, right? Now I don't know if y'all have seen that series, but honey, if y'all ain't seen that series, y'all need to watch Beauty in Black. To me, that was Tyler Perry's coming out, child. I ain't even gonna lie to you, And so I was just like, wow. I was like, oh Lord, I had never seen. I'm old school, and I had never seen like nothing like that on the screen before, like right. And so I didn't know quite what to think about Beauty and Black, child. But I was watching it, child. It's good. It's good. It's good writing. I ain't gonna lie. It's different from anything that Tyler Perry, had done before. People got to realize that Tyler Perry has a particular fan base, right? His fan base is a lot of Christian women, a lot of women. Some people feel like he exploits the black woman's pain. You know, he exploit. They feel like he's been exploiting the unfortunate plights of some women, some black women have to go through in life. He just did another Netflix series, another Netflix show starring Taraji P Henson called Straw. I liked it. Some people complained about it, but I thought it was real good. I thought it was really real. I had pretty much written off Tyler Perry because he got kind of lame, after a while doing the same old. But this was slightly different, in my opinion, especially for the fact that he had a twist at the end. So I liked that. Um, And I also like the fact that Tyler Perry does a lot of philanthropic work. I think that he is a good guy, right? I really do. I think that he has, just like a lot of men, maybe not as bad as the Diddler, or Kelly, Bill Cosby, our men in the industry, they are eventually going to get exposed, for what they do, in their lives behind, when it comes to relationships and whatnot. It's like a whole humiliation ritual. I found it interesting that this lawsuit came out after the award that Tyler received, and after the speech that he done at the BET Awards. He was basically telling black people that we gonna be all right. You know what I mean? And I thought that was a really real moment. But I find it interesting that now he's going through this, right? I find it very interesting. And so, at the end of the day, Tyler Child, if you're part of the community, just go on and come out. Honey, how you some escorts or something, right? You ain't got to be going through all this. Tyler, I know you might like the chase, but I think that Tyler Perry, like I said, I really, he's done a lot of good in this world. I think that maybe part of the, part of the problem is, as far as him coming out, you have a population of men, especially older, for whatever reason, even in this day and age, they don't want to come out. Maybe that's why Tyler don't want to come out. But and then I think that Tyler likes to chase. You know, do I think that he uses his money and his status to have a hold on these men? Possibly, possibly. He ain't doing nothing that none of these other producers have done. When they twerking around in the synagogue of Satan. And so I haven't heard anything from somebody like what is it, Christian Keys or this Derek Dixon. It don't sound like he nowhere close to a Diddy child. Okay, so I don't even, I think that just, when they went to mediate the lawsuit, Tyler wasn't wanting to give him no $260 million. So he feel like he go public. But Tyler, look, if you listen to Tyler, I know you're not, but somebody go over there and tell Tyler, you ain't got. Don't give this man no $260 million. Okay. Now, if y'all go to court, I'm sure y'all gonna have to sell it for something, but it won't be no dang on $260 million because he ain't no actor anyway, and that's what you get. For letting your proclivities, your actual proclivities, lead you by the hers, right? And so, I think that he was feeling to do right. They say right now that Tyler Perry is actually on vacation, allegedly. Allegedly, he's on vacation right now with Mariah, sparking dating rumors, that is in the tabloids, that is online, the online tabloids and stuff. So now I seen a interview when Tyler was on TV like a week or two ago. I think he was on like maybe the Kelly Ripper show or something like that, and said that he was going to take a vacation this summer. He hadn't had a vacation in a long time, and he was going on vacation. So evident, for an extended vacation, right? And so, child, they say he on a vacation, child, with Mariah Carey's ex, child. So I don't know what that's about, right? And so, but it is what it is. I just think that Tyler need to just come on out the closet. If he in the closet, uh, people gonna accept it. Nobody really cares anymore. Uh, you got to stop letting these fools shake you down, Tyler. And I realize it's an unpopular opinion, y'all, but I'm kind of Team Tyler this time, right? I don't think we need to be burning Tyler Perry at the stake or something. Y'all go around there and leave Medea alone, okay? Leave leave Medea alone. Medea ain't trying to go to jail, okay, child? Medea ain't trying to give up $260 million in a silver suit, right? And so, and also for the fact that, okay, do I believe that he possibly SA'd him? Do I believe that he possibly, actually harassed him? Yes, I do. Do I believe some of the stuff that Christian Keys is saying? Yes, I do. But Christian Keys had a goal, okay? He had a goal, honey. He was wanting control over his work, child. Okay, and I bet he got it because the drama went away. He did all that crying and snotting and whatever. And this guy right here, this Derek Dixon, the way that he worded That the way that lawsuit was worded is so absolutely disgusting, and the only reason why everybody's talking about it, in my opinion, right now, is because of the optics. Okay, I'm gonna put it that way. It's because of the optics, right? And if it wasn't, if the optics didn't look like this, I don't think that it wouldn't be on national TV, or they love any reason they can to put a black man in his place. That's what they're gonna do, right? We done seen it countless times over and over again. The issue is when it comes to black men, you got to take some accountability. You got to pay attention to what you're doing. Why are y'all falling for this? Now, Tyler, they're saying it's the end of Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry owns his own. He owns his own studio. He is a billionaire. Okay, even if he gave this man $260 million, which I don't think that he's entitled to, by the way, he would still be all right. If he didn't do another movie or whatever again, honey, he would still be okay. Right? If Tyler Perry chose to retire right now behind this nonsense right here, Tyler Perry would still be okay. He's still gonna have his friends. Okay, he's done a lot of good. He's you heard people like Taraji P. Henson, and a whole lot of people saying that the only time they got paid their worth was when they was working with Tyler Perry, and that's a marvelous thing. And so for me, good outweighs the bad. He always doing something good for somebody. He's very philanthropic. I remember he, flew Whitney Houston's body, home to her people. He does stuff like that. He's done a lot. With Oprah, him and Oprah is really close. Him and Oprah and Gail. I seen him on an interview when he was talking. He said he showed up at every Beyonce concert. And and ain't no telling what other philanthropic ventures he got. But see, part of the reason is they don't like the fact that Tyler Perry owns his own studio and he runs his own show. He don't have to go through nobody. See, Tyler Perry is like Cat Williams, right? Cat owns his own show. He does not have to follow the rules of any of the people in Hollywood because he owns his own, show. He do his own thing. He puts out his shows and stuff for himself, right? Like Tyler Perry does. A lot of these other, studios, or when they want to make a movie, especially down south or with a down south feel, they will hire. I mean, they will use Tyler Perry studios, right? So, like I said, if Tyler Perry never does any more work, he still got his studio child, and at the end of the day, he gonna be all right. Now we're gonna have to see if any more people gonna jump out of the woodwork trying to get some more, trying to get some money out of Tyler Perry, right? But at the end of the day, he gonna be all right, right? And it wouldn't be this highly publicized if this was Derek Dixon. Do I think Derek Dixon is some kind of victim? No, I do not. No, I do not. I also feel like he let Tyler Perry on just long enough to get the evidence that he needed. I think that even that court document is very graphic and it's very disrespectful and it's very grimy. You know what I mean? And we know how it go in this world, right? But I think Tyler's gonna be all right. Tyler's gonna do what you're doing, boo. But you need to calm it down because when I was reading the court document, I was like, oh, I was like, it's a trash, okay? Just trash. I'm like, oh Lord, okay, But anyway, that's all I got. Uh, this may be an unpopular opinion, like I said, but I'm Team Tyler on this, right? So anyway, let me know what you guys think about this video in the comment section. Please like, share, and subscribe. If you decide to subscribe to the channel, honey, please hit the notifications bell. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section below. Are you Team Tyler? Do you think that this was a scam? Do you think that this guy has irreparable damage because of the things that he said Tyler Perry did to him? Let me know in the comment section, right? I'm going to talk to y'all later. Thanks for joining me. Bye-bye. Peace.